I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms. Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
Thank you very much for your time. And
either she homeless or she got problems. That's the only reason why she run to a black man.
Charles, thank you for being there.
What's up? First, let me start the video off like this. What does the angel say when it picks up the phone? Hello? Hello? Some shit like that. Anyway, so I try to tell folks, when it comes down to movies, at least, watch them at least once. I mean, you know what I mean? Like at least once. Give it a try. And sometimes I follow my own advice, sometimes I don't. And so with this movie here, what was it? I watched like a little less than half of it, and then I stopped it. You know what I'm saying? And then, I thought about it. And I ended up, making my reaction video or review type video and talked my shit about what I didn't like about it. And, it was like, it's something that you should watch. It's that, it's the, that one right there where it says, be careful when watching Tyler Perry's Straw. Alright, so the next day came, and I saw the young lady that turned me on to the movie, and I was like, man, I couldn't watch it, you know what I'm saying? And we got into a little discussion about it, and she was like, you should really give it a try. And so, well, she might not have used those words, but, it's just one of those things where I was motivated to try to watch it again. So I tried watching it again, and I fucking fell asleep on it. When I woke up, I left the movie alone for a bit, and I tried it again. And I fell asleep again. So I'm really, at this time, I'm really like, man, fuck this movie. Because I've done this, I've had movies, I've started movies where I kept falling asleep on them, kept falling asleep, no matter how many times I kept falling asleep. And then eventually it got to the point where I was like, man, if I fall asleep, more than 2 times, then fuck that movie. So when I was eating dinner, I went ahead and put it back on, and I was lightweight listening, watching, but I was also, having a conversation and shit. And so I started seeing where she was coming from, as far as she was like, there's a reason why, Taraji P, why her character is doing all this shit. And so here I am being a smart ass, thinking, I'm saying, I'm Mr. Movie Buff, and I'm like, well, yeah, because of this. I'm saying this to myself, you know what I mean? And come to find out I was wrong for all the reasons why. All the reasons why I thought, for all the reasons that I was thinking, to answer the question of why she was going through all this shit, you know what I'm saying, I was wrong. So let me give you some backdrop. Let me give you some history of what the fuck I'm talking about. Alright, so in the video that I made, when I watched the beginning of the movie, alright, I saw a mother, you know what I'm saying, getting her kid ready for school. They talking about, science project, and how she didn't want the daughter to drop it in the bath water and ruin it. And then got to where they was walking out to the car, and she showed some love to a homeless person, and then, you know, it's like boom, you know, fucking landlord jumped on her ass about rent and threatened her to kick her out and shit like that. So it's like, man, you know, it's fucking up her day already. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with her vibe. So the mother, you know, gets the baby or the daughter. I keep calling her baby, but you know, the daughter. She's walking on her own. You know what I mean? And she takes her daughter to school, and fucking, she's like, yo, I'm gonna bring back that money for your lunch. You know what I'm saying? Don't want you to feel all embarrassed, because you gotta eat some kind of fucking, you know, like welfare lunch type shit. Gets to work, a whole bunch of bullshit goes on at the job. Gets a phone call from the school, leaves the job, boss is on her ass about, you know, every fucking thing that you can think of about, you know what I'm saying, that a fucked up ass boss would be on. And she tries to take her kid, you know, she gets to the school, and a whole bunch of bullshit happens there. She leaves there, and on her way back, fucking gets fucked up cop pissed off at her, and he fucks with her day even more. And it's crazy because it's like while she's dealing with this fucking cop, you know what I'm saying, it starts raining hard, and so she's dealing with, you know, this fucking cop, and it's a bunch of bullshit. And then another cop comes to the scene, and that other cop is really not doing her any favors. So, you know, her car stops running, and she ends up having to walk home for more than one reason. You know what I'm saying? So she walks all the way. Now this is the part, I don't understand why she didn't just walk back to her job. But she ended up walking home, and she saw that her landlord made good on her promise about what she would do if she didn't bring that money. And so she finally gets back to the job, loses her fucking job, and then the day just keeps getting fucked up and more fucked up. So, like I say, I got there and a little bit past there, you know, on day one of me watching this movie, and I'm just like, okay, with all that shit, you know, I made that first video, and I'm like, man, Tyler Perry, you know, it's fucking with people's emotions, fucking with people's sensitivities, you know what I'm saying, and he hyper enhances, you know what I'm saying, the emotions and the emotions, you know, the anger, the sadness, the impatience, you know what I'm saying, just every emotion that she had to fucking feel from other people. You know what I'm saying? It was just enhanced. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why would Tyler Perry do that shit? I don't understand why he would just, you know, write a movie that's on some shit like that. You know what I mean? And so, here it is. I'm watching the movie for the fourth time. And, I'm like, okay, so when the young lady was telling me, you know, there's a reason why, you know, Taraji P's character is going through all this shit, you know, I'm like, okay, well, I was wrong earlier about my guesses of why she was going through this shit. So I think I had like maybe 15 minutes left of the movie, 20 minutes left of the movie, something like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting the fucking answer to this shit. The fuck's going on? And I'm like, why is she so fixated on this goddamn cop? You know what I'm saying? She's more worried about this cop living up to his word of what he threatened to do to her. That, you know what I'm saying, it's like she's sitting there saying, you know, I gotta figure this out, I gotta figure this out. You know, she's telling everybody in the bank, you know, I gotta figure this out, just give me a minute, let me figure this out. And I'm sitting there like, you know, I'm like, yeah, damn, Tyler. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, out of everything that's going on in the world, out of everything that's going on with the entertainment business, out of everything that's going on with these writers and directors, it's like, you know, the quality of movies that we're having to digest is trash. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to eat some corn when it's actually wood grain. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, it's trash. So, I'm watching the movie, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm just sitting here like, come on, let's get to the end. I don't want to skip it. I don't want to skip it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get to the end. And then I finally get to the end of the movie. And I watch and I figure out, you know, I mean, I didn't have to figure out, you know what I'm saying? The movie explains itself. And so I'm just like, okay. You know, there was a time when I liked a movie that had a good twist for an ending. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, that's what it is. You know, sometimes it leads to, you know, a segue into like a second installment of the movie. I mean, sometimes not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, all right, well, with this movie right here, you know, to me, there's no cliffhanger. Alright, so I doubt there will be a part 2. But, you know, I'm just like, okay. For Tyler Perry fans, they were like, I'm pretty sure they're like, hey, goddamn, that was a good fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? But I think it spent too much time fucking with my emotions, fucking with my mood, fucking with my patience. You know, out of all the time that Taraji P's character, was contemplating on what to do, you know what I'm saying? An average person would already know the right thing to do, what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like the situation wouldn't even been there for a person in their right mind. You know what I mean? Even if you're dealing with, you know, emotional problems because your child, you know what I'm saying, needs your help or needs something from you, and you know, struggling to maintain and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, a lot of us, you know, we're not on that level to where, you know, we're breaking, you know, where we're hitting a breaking point. Now I say that, and you got folks who are not brown that are killing their family members left and right. So I think that might be one of the things that's hard to understand. It's kind of like they say it's hard to get a brown male adult to do therapy, to go talk to a shrink. You know what I'm saying? We basically be like, you know, hey, we got this. You know what I'm saying? You weak if you go get some damn psychotherapy type shit. You know what I'm saying? But here it is. You know, there's been an increase of, you know, brown males killing their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? It's been happening throughout the years, and it's been increasing throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? So I can't, you know, sit up here and talk to you like it's a surprising increase, but on the real, I don't talk to people that are breaking like that. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let me give you an example. I know a young lady that I've been talking to for like 13 years. And she lost 2 family members in 2 weeks. You know, they died. You know what I'm saying? And she was feeling a certain way. But, you know, she still woke up and, you know, lived her life each day so far. And each day that, you know, I've checked on her, you know, she's like, hey, I'm still here. You know, it's not easy right now, but I'm still here. So it's like, okay. And so it's like, you know, even that didn't cause her to hit her breaking point. So I don't know. There's people out there, I guess. You know, Tyler Perry had to get this from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't come up with this script out of his ass. He didn't come up with this story out of his ass. He don't come up with original work like that. So, you know, he picked up the motivation or the inspiration to do this script, to do this story from somewhere. And, you know, he's rubbing elbows with, you know, people who are dealing with a lot of money and, you know, more money, more problems type shit. So it's like, okay, well, segue into something that you might or might not know about, but this is August 3rd. Ray J went on a podcast with Cam Newton, maybe in July, and Ray J, like at the beginning of the interview, he told Cam that he had something to show him. He was like, I need to show you this, and maybe you might get an understanding of why I'm talking in code. So he ends up, you know, him and Cam end up going off camera, you know what I'm saying, and Ray J shows him some shit about, you know, some industry people and some money transfers and shit that he's been dabbling with off and on for years. This ain't nothing new to him, but he's tired of this shit and you know what I'm saying, he wants to expose it and bounce. You know what I'm saying? He want to go somewhere safe. Expose it and go somewhere safe. So if you're watching this, you know, you might hear something about Ray J, or you might not. I'm not sure. You know, like around September, November of 2025. Check and see. You know what I mean? But anyway, so when you're dealing with rich people, you think of movies like Hostel 1, 2, and 3, where rich people have money to spend on entertaining themselves with depravity type shit. You know, like sadistic sodomy type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like paying to watch people get fucked up. There's a movie with Nicolas Cage called 8mm, and it's about snuff films, and he's hired to find out if a young lady in a snuff film was really fucked up and if she was alive or not. You know what I'm saying? So that was a pretty deep, dark movie. And here it is, Tyler Perry is dealing with the same type people. You're dealing with Harvey Weinstein and Epstein, Diddy, R. Kelly, all these rich motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, who are just in the mix of all the rest of the people that aren't being mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump, on one hand, wants to expose people, but on the other hand, he's not exposing people, but he will talk shit about some of the people that he wants to expose. You know, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying? He's just, you know, being a troll because he's intertwined with some of that bullshit as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, the entertainment industry is on some bullshit. And that's why when it comes down to when I make videos about warning people about what they're watching, what they listen to, you know what I'm saying? I'm honestly trying to help folks, like, as a warning, hey, be careful of what you entertain yourself with. Here recently, I had seen this guy do pranks. It's like he gets with young ladies, and they supposed to prank her family members, and he's supposed to show up as a real fucked up toxic ass boyfriend to the young lady, and she's trying to introduce him to her parents to see if her parents will accept him, type shit. And so he pulls up and he's being toxic and disrespectful and shit. And then right when they're ready to kick his ass and shit, he's like it's a prank. And it's like, man, between him and everybody else is pulling these pranks on people, it's like you're gonna prank the wrong person, and they're gonna be like, fuck your prank, I stab people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or they can be like, man, I'm a killer. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm a killer. What's that? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. And the edge is you fuck with my family. If you're disrespectful to my family and me, you done violated twice. You know what I'm saying? You don't get no third chance. There is no coming back from this. Fuck a prank. Fuck being on camera. You know what I'm saying? My family's everything to me. You don't know what or why a person takes their family so seriously. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And they fucking with people's emotions, fucking with people's heads when they doing these pranks. And so, I left the guy a message, and I was like, I think that these prank videos are staged. 2. If they're not staged, I think that the people that you're inviting to these sit downs to prank should call the police if it gets physical. And then 3. If it doesn't get physical, then I think that these people that you're pranking shouldn't even waste energy on you or their family member if their family member is not trying to get up and go. You know what I'm saying? Why waste the energy on that when you're being disrespected? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have to sit there and tolerate no disrespect from nobody. You grown. You're a grown ass fucking person. You've gone through what you've gone through to get where you're at. You know what I'm saying? When you get to the point where someone's fucking with your head, fucking with your emotions, they don't give a fuck. You sit there and you be like, okay, niece, nephew, obviously you can see what's going on here. You hear what's going on right here. And I don't get down with that shit. I don't know why you are allowing this person to be so disrespectful, but I'm disappointed in you. We can go and talk about this further, or if you choose to stay, hey, we'll talk, we'll holler at each other on another note sometime in the future or some shit. But right now, I got to go. You can choose to stay, but I'm really asking you to come with me. Blood is thicker than water. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to see your blood dripping in water in the fucking bathroom sink, or I hate to see you laying in the bathroom and pull of blood because you cut your wrist because nobody want to fuck with you because you chose to be with this fool instead of being with your family. Well, we could protect you type shit. Or at least you won't need protection because you won't be fucking with people like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to get back to the movie, you know what I'm saying? I'm still curious to how in the hell Taraji P's character got in the position that she was in, to be a single mother, you know what I'm saying, in some fucking cheap ass living conditions. You know what I'm saying? She said she worked 2 jobs, but you should see where living conditions are. Okay, so I'm having a brain fart right now, but I'm gonna get off of here, and I hope that you can, you know, question everything that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, do some research as far as, you know, how many people, as far as statistics go, you know, are pushed to the brink. You know what I'm saying? How many people in your family, you know what I mean, can tolerate another family member, you know, fucking with wrong choices, you know what I'm saying, or dealing with, you know, their bad tasting character, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, hey, you know, when it comes down to pranks and things like that, you know, for one, stuff like that, you know, it's like I was telling the guy, I'm gonna finish that story with him. You know, I was telling him, I'm like, man, we're in a war between the haves and the have-nots. You know, the people who have it all, they don't want the people, you know, they don't want us to get up to that level. They don't want us to be educated. They don't want us, you know, to learn something so that we can teach others. You know what I mean? It's been like that for a long fucking time. But still, I'm telling them, I'm like, you know, you got a platform. Why don't you use your platform, you know, to plant a seed in somebody to help them grow? I didn't use those words, but it was to the extent of that. And I'm just like, you know, just help out, just help folks, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got a gift to entertain people, to get people's attention, to use that in another way, you know? I'm not going to say a better way or things like that. I didn't say that. I didn't use like the word better. I didn't want to belittle them and be like, you know, what you're doing is no good. But still, all I can ask y'all to do is, you know, is to question everything I'm saying, do your own research, see what statistics are, and come up with your own opinion and share your opinion with other people. When it comes down to this Tyler Perry movie, you know, watch it all the way through. And if you talk to anybody about the movie, you know, ask them to watch it all the way through. It may be kind of hard to get through, but it's I guess, I don't know if it's worth it or not. But anyway, this is Padre, and I hope that you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. Hope you have a good morning. Peace.
Give them prayer hands, say what's up America. Half of you should know me, right? Other half a replica. Shout out to my